Hello everyone. Today's art journal prompt is autumn. Fall. Now I'm opting to do a Halloween inspired page, but you can do anything you like. I think Halloween is one of those things that you either love it or you hate it. We don't really go into Halloween in a big way here in the UK, and I haven't really got that many pieces either, but I've got a few supplies here. I've got this that I want to use as a focal image, and this was from my Sainsbury's supermarket money off vouchers, and so I fussy cut this out. I've also got a few pumpkins that were on the same brochure. You can see what it was like there. So I've got that. I also picked up this spider hair clip in the pound shop a few weeks ago, so I thought I might be able to disassemble this and use it with some of this spider web. Now Mika sent me this in Happy Mail. Oh goodness me, it must be two years ago, 18 months ago at least, and I planned to use it on my Halloween themed journal page last year. Dug it out a couple of weeks beforehand and then lost it at the crucial moment, and just couldn't find it anywhere, and it was buried under a pile of other bits and pieces that I found last Christmas. So I'm going to try and incorporate that this year. I've also got this piece of paper here that I picked up from the scrap store after Halloween last year, and I've also got some pumpkin stickers that I picked up on clearance. Of course now everything is reduced, so I think I got these for 50p, something like that. So I'm going to tidy this away and we'll work on the background to start off with. So let me just move that to one side, and I think what I'm going to do is do a similar background to the one that I did last week. I just absolutely loved how the black background worked for the inches page, and so I'm going to use some black soot. I also want to use my iced spruce. What have I done with that? I thought I dug it out. There we go. So I'm going to start off with the black soot, the iced spruce, and I'm going to introduce some wilted violet as well, and then I'll add possibly some of the spice marmalade at the end. So I've got a piece of cardstock. This is just regular, quite heavy duty cardstock, because I just find that the Distress inks work better on cardstock than they do on mixed media paper. They just spread better, in my opinion. So let's do the same as we did last week. Let's put some of the black and the iced spruce down and try and get a dark background. I just was so surprised as to how well the black and the iced spruce worked last week. I just want to repeat it, and I know some of you were a bit surprised as well and thought it was going to turn out a complete and utter disaster. You didn't have any faith in me. I didn't have faith in myself either, for that matter, so that's okay. I thought, what am I doing as I was doing it? But it turned out okay, didn't it? So I'm going to put this on to fast forward, because this is the boring bit, because as you know, with the Distress oxides, it's just a case of adding more layers and drying in between. Now that's what I've got so far after doing a few layers of the black and the iced spruce, and then adding just a small amount of the wilted violet. And I just feel that I want to add and introduce some spiced marmalade to bring all the focal images together once I add them, and I don't know whether I'm brave enough to do it. I think what I'm going to do is just add a little bit. So we'll add a bit of the black, just because, you know, I just like that dark dramatic background, and I just think by adding all of those water splatters as well, just I just love the interest that that creates. And if I hold it up close, I don't know whether you can see where I sprayed it as well, the reaction in the background. I just love that so much. Then we'll add some of the iced spruce again, a bit of the wilted violet, I just don't want to wreck this background, and then a little bit of spiced marmalade. There we go. Let me just wipe that because I've got some of the black now on my stamp pad. I've contaminated it. Right, okay, so let's go in for one last pull. Keep your fingers crossed that I don't completely wreck this. No, I think that's going to be fine. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. I just felt that if I didn't have some orange in the background, it just wouldn't pull together as well. And I think I'm going to leave that be before I spoil it. Let's just get some of that purple in there as well. And then I'm going to give this a dry. This is how my background is looking at the moment, and I'm really glad that I added that orange, and I do want to do some stamping on the background, and I've pulled out a few stamps that I think might work quite well. I've got this one here. This is one of the Ranger texture treads. I picked this up on clearance about 2 or 3 years ago. It's used with melt it, so I've got no idea what they are, but it makes a wonderful stamp, and I just thought that was really gothic-y, so I think that will work well. I've also got some stars that I thought might work quite well in the background. These are from one of my Christmas sets. I've got this Finnabar stencil here. I've never even used this one, and my dictionary pages. So I'm just going to put this on to fast forward, and again, as last week, I'm just going to use black and cotton white. I'm happy with that so far. I just think that's added a bit of interest to it, and you know, not taken too much away from the background, but I think I want just a little bit of white splattering as well. So again, I'm going to use the Dr. P.H. Martin's pen white ink. So I only want a little drop. I'm going to water it down just a tad. There we go. And then I've got a fan brush, and I'm going to try and go gently on this. I don't want too many splatters. Yeah, that's good. And this brush is good to use as well, because it's not coming out in great big thick blobs like it sometimes does. So there's our stars on our dark, gloomy background. Right, stop, Nina. I think that's enough. Or shall I just add a bit more up here? Oh, good grief, I never know when to stop, do I? Right, that's it. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, so let's try and assemble this page. I love that background. I think that works really well. Just enough stamping on there, and I'm just really happy with that splattering. So let's try and assemble this page. Now, my chap is going to have to go there, Mr. Dracula. He's going to have to go there because, of course, he's cut off on the edge. So I'm going to glue him down first. So let me just grab some parchment paper. Right, so I'm just going to use a piece of parchment paper and a glue stick just to attach this. I've got this ridge in the middle where it was just assembled on the page really strangely, but I'm hoping that that won't show too much. Let's see if we can get away with it. And I've inked around the edges of this image as well, just to take as much of that white outline away as I can, and to disguise, you know, where I haven't cut as neatly in fiddly parts as I would like to have done, but we can always outline it later. So let's just add this to start off with. And it's just going to be a case of assembling and building this page as best I can. Okay, so we've got him glued down, and I've glued down the T as well. I think what I want to do now is add my spider. The spider was just attached with a circular piece of felt. I don't know where the circular bit has gone, and I've just unpicked it, and so we're left with this horrible spider. You all know how much I absolutely hate spiders, but you know, it has to be done, doesn't it, for a Halloween page? So I am going to attach my spider like that, I think. I'm going to have to use some heavy gel medium, I think, for that. So I've got some here. Let's have a play and see what we can do. Oh, I'm getting in a right mess here. It sticks to absolutely everything, including me. Ugh. So this is just heavy gel medium. I think you'll need something quite strong to glue heavy embellishments down. So let's have a look and see how I want to add this. And then I can trim around the edges afterwards. And I think what I'm going to do is grab another piece of parchment paper and just try and press that down to make sure that it's glued properly like this, and then I shall give it a quick dry before I add the spider, and then I've got to work out how I'm going to attach the spider. Now that was a mistake to flatten it with the parchment paper, because of course now I've lost all of my fluffiness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that over, add some more glue like that. So back in with the gel medium. So that's me being too impatient to dry things, and I've wrecked it. So we just add some more glue, and just that saves me having to trim it as well. So I'm just going to press this down, and I'm going to have to be patient, and then I can trim this off on the edge. Now that looks much better. I just need to work out now how I'm going to stick my spider down. I've got some sticky glue pads here, and I think what I'm going to do is cut off a really thin strip and attach that to the underside of the spider, because the trouble is the spider is sort of curved, and so I'm not going to be able to achieve any contact if I don't do something like this. And I think I'm just going to build it up with a couple of layers of this padding stuff. I've forgotten what you call this raised adhesive. I think that should do it. And I think what I'll do is I'll add some gel medium as well, just to give it a bit more weight. There we go. We'll tap that on, and so I want my spider to go there. So keep your fingers crossed that will do the trick for that. I'm going to try and not be tempted to touch it. I just want it to dry properly. Yep, I think that's going to work. Right, what do I want to do next? Now, I've already taken one of the pumpkins off, and it's upside down because it's stuck to me like glue. And so I think I want my pumpkin to go somewhere like that. So bring back the one that I've already peeled off. I think I want that central. Oh, this is really, really sticky. How do I want that to go? Like that. Oh, stop dithering, Nina. Just get on with it and stick it down. Right, there we go. So that's what we've got so far. I cut out some of the bats from this piece of paper here as well, which I thought might look quite cute. I don't know how many I might use, if I use any. Let's have a look. I think just 2. I like that. Just 2 of the bats. Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces then, so we've got balance. I quite like that. And I need to add trick or, and I need to have a think as to what I'm going to use and how I'm going to do that. So let me just go away and have a think. Now I've decided I'm going to try and emboss my trick or to go with the treat. So I've got my little mini stamp set here. This is just a Dovecraft one, and I've got some scrap cardstock, and I've picked out the words, the word treat. And I've bundled it together, held it together with a piece of washi tape just so that I can get it in a straight line. And I'm going to use the Spiced Marmalade Distress ink for this. So let's stamp that down. I hope this works. There we go, trick. Oh, that's relatively straight. And in with my embossing powder. This is clear embossing powder. Tip off the excess and let's just heat set that. Well, there we go. That's nice and bright. I'm quite happy with that. So I need to unbundle this now and just do the or, because of course I've got the R in here. Oh, come on you. There we are. Let's make sure I get it the right way up. There we go. Top off the excess again and heat set that. Right, so I've cut out my little words, so trick or, and then I've inked around the edges in the Spice Marmalade as well. So I just need to glue this down, and I think it's going to have to go somewhere like this because I'd like room for my bat to go in. So trick or, I'd like a bat up here somewhere and another bat down here like that. So I've glued my quote down with some of this Dovecraft Ultimate Craft Glue. That's really strong. I'm just going to use a glue stick to glue the bats down. Where's that piece of tracing paper I had? In fact, it's deli paper, so I'm going to have to be gentle with these because they're quite delicate. These are just cut out from that piece of tissue paper that I had from the scrap store. So we'll have one up here like that. There we are. And we'll have another one down here. There we are. And then I just want to ink around the edges. My spider seems to be holding firm, so that's good. Those sticky pads seem to have done the trick. And I think I'm going to go round the outside in the Distress Oxide in the black soot. Let's just see how that looks. So I'm just going to go around the edge like this, and I'll come back when I've done it. And so here we are. Here's my finished page. I'm glad to say that the spider's held in place. And then I've just added a little bit of detail. I felt the need to add another bat just to balance things out. And I've outlined the bats using a black fine liner pen and added a bit of white detail using the white Signo Uniball pen. I've also outlined the words trick or treat just to make it stand out a little bit more. And I tried to add a bit of shading as well to Dracula. That was difficult. It did not like the Distress Oxides for some reason. I found it really difficult. It was tearing the paper. So I just did the best I could and then just left it be. I've outlined the pumpkin as well, just in a black fine liner pen, and that's it. So there we go, this week's finished page. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? I still hate spiders, but at least this one's got sparkly bits. Anyway, I hope you like that, and I look forward, as always, to seeing what everybody else decides to come up with for this week's prompt, fall, autumn, or, as I say, do a Halloween-inspired page if you would like to. So if you like that, I'd really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up, because, as I always say, it just lets YouTube know that you like what I'm doing, and let me know what you think in the comments below. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.